All right, you guys. Again, thank you for joining. My name is Raichail McDonald. I am the sales support manager, and we're going to do our onboarding session with you guys today. Onboarding is designed to give you an introduction to the sales support team. I'm going to mute all of you right now. You will not be able to unmute yourself until I'm done doing the walkthrough, and then we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A, okay? If you do have any pressing questions, please put them in the chat window. If you could go to your participant name and update it with the state that you're in, that really helps me get an idea of where everybody's coming in from. If there's any time at the end and I see a list of stuff for Texas or California, I'll make sure to include that information as well, or where you can find some information. So again, please update your participant name and rename yourself to include your state that you're in, okay? So as you guys can see here on my slide deck, and feel free to take a screenshot, but all of this information is accessible to you in your Powur dashboard. But I like to point it out so that you guys know where you should be going to get the most up-to-date information, or which department you should be going to for specific types of questions. So we do have essentially kind of three main departments when it comes to support. Our general support is support@powur.com. That admin will handle any questions that are related to your commissions, any issues you might be having with your e-wallet, any platform related issues. Maybe you're getting an error or some kind of bug happening on your Powur.com site. So you should direct those questions to support@powur.com. They also have a billing and FAQ site. Again, it's linked to and available in your dashboard in the menu bar, but it'll take you to support.powur.com. And on that site, you'll find a bunch of other information and materials that you might find useful from the admin team. We will go through that site here shortly. I just want to kind of give you the rundown of what kind of things we're going to be covering today. Sales support, that's my team. Right now it consists of me and Christina. We will be having another specialist coming on next month that will be also bilingual, and to help us get that extended coverage that we need to provide you guys during especially the summer, and especially after COVID-19, hopefully lifts and things start to get to a semblance of normality. If you have anything in what we call a pre-sale status, meaning that the contract has not been fully signed or the loan docs have not been fully signed, any of those items, any help on a proposal, any help finding a mentor, any help like that will come to my team, and pre-sales at Powur will filter right to me, where I will go through those emails daily and see if there's something that's pressing, or and try to answer them as quickly as I can for you. So any items that are related to before you fully signed the contract and gotten the loan docs all sorted out, that's all pre-sales or sales support, however you want to call us. But that's our email, presales@powur.com. We also have a direct line that you can call. Our business hours, we try to list them on the calendar for when you guys can reach us during the day. Our normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific time. However, we do sometimes have a little bit of extended coverage on certain days, depending on mine and Christina's staffing, where we go as late as 7 p.m. and as early as 6 a.m. Again, that's in Pacific time. So be aware that if you want the most up-to-date thing, check it on the calendar, and you can just hover over sales support and hours for that day, and you can see what our planned hours are for that day. Again, 619-320-4770 is our direct line. We do recommend that you text. If you get our voicemail, leave a message. We don't answer it always in real time because we're also helping and working with a bunch of other reps. So if we don't get to it, we will be checking it throughout the day. If you text us, a lot of times it can be a little faster. Just be sure to always include your name, who your customer is that you're asking about, and what your situation is. Just make sure you give us as much detail up front. Somebody texting in that just says, I can't find my proposal, or my proposal's not uploaded, doesn't really help us, because we can't find it either if we don't know your name and your customer's name. So hopefully that makes sense, and you guys can provide us more information when you're communicating to us. Project coordination and post-sales. We call this our post-sales team. This is after a contract is completely signed, loan docs, and everything's been uploaded for whatever that particular project is, and now it's going into our project coordination team's hands. They are who you go to once your job is in process to get site survey, installs, and everything else. Do not bring those issues to pre-sales. We're just going to send you back to them. So you will get a project coordinator assigned on your job. You will get like 3 times a week, I believe it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll get an email called Active Project Summary Report that gives you a stages on where your projects are at. And their phone number is 480-626-7056. It's extension 403. Again, leave them a voicemail if they don't answer in real time. They do have a 24-hour turnaround time on responding to notes and requests. So they usually try to get it to everything within 24 hours. Those hours for them are also Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific time. All right, moving over to the right side of my screen, you'll see that we have a weekly solar topics training. That is also listed on powercalendar.com. If we're having a live session for consultant training, you can go there. Typically, those are on Tuesdays at noon Pacific time. They are recorded, and I will show you where you can find those training sessions in case you missed one. So again, these are voluntary, optional training sessions. You can definitely check out Power Calendar and jump on one of those. We have special training and update sessions for mentors only on Mondays. Please do not join those unless you are a mentor. And then once you're there, once you're at mentor status, we'll invite you to start joining those as well. Powertraining.com. Again, this is also linked to in your dashboard, but powertraining.com is your LMS portal. I see that there's a chat window here. Somebody's having problems getting through lesson 1. I'll deal with your specific case at the end of the call, Ben. But right now, for those that have taken the training and completed the final course, that's what will give you access to the dashboard. So you do have to complete that training and complete the final exam before it lets you actually open up your dashboard and start putting in leads and so forth. But we'll go over what that looks like as well here in just a minute. So previous trainings, important information are all located in Power Resources. There's a link on the bottom left of your dashboard, and you should always be referring to that anytime you're logging into the system. At least check it once or twice a day because I'm continuously putting new information on that site. All right, so I'm gonna pause for a second here, you guys. We're gonna go into all of those items that I just covered. So let's start with your power.com. So you guys should bookmark this on your browser. I do believe Chrome is probably one of the more stable browsers that you can use. However, this is a web-based platform, so you should be able to access this from an iPad or even your iPhone. It just looks a little different when you're doing it from your iPhone. So let's go ahead and log in. Again, you will not be able to log in until you complete your courses. So anytime you come into the power.com site, you're going to be brought directly into your dashboard where your leads are sitting. Now, they're going to sit in lead status until you have completely submitted it so that it goes into the project status where you can then put in more information related to that particular customer and so forth. I would just say don't submit a lead unless it's a solid lead and you're getting close to either setting a time to sit down with the customer or you want to go over it with a mentor and then work on it with them directly so that you can get that set up for a time to start generating a proposal and get ready to present to a customer. But this is what it looks like before it becomes a project that you're working on. I'm going to come back to this and show you some other items that you should be aware of as well. But first, let's start with your profile. So when you open your little hamburger menu up here on the top left, it's going to open up the menu bar right here. In here, you'll see the platform-related links. You'll see your setting links. You will not see admin, obviously, because you're not an admin. But then down at the very bottom is the support links. So we have direct links to email pre-sales, which, again, those come to me. And they're for items that are related to prior to the job being sold. And then post-sales is for an active project that you have sold and now you're working with the project coordinator. And then on top of that, you also have links to our Powur resources, our billing and FAQ, and directly back to your Powur training, which we call the Easy LMS site. That is LMS for Learning Module System. So that is your courses and your course training. You can get back to it here as well. So before we go to those sites, let me go ahead and show you something that's really important in your profile. Please be sure to always and only use your real first and last name when you're setting up your contact information. Please be sure to put in your actual mailing address, because I've gotten a bunch of these kicked back, but I like to send out, very special Powur congratulations cards when you sell your first system. If I don't have your exact mailing address, then you're not going to get those cards. We might even have to do away with them because too many people weren't putting in their exact mailing address. Your vanity URL is up to you. It's going to default to your first and last name, but you can put your business name, if you have a different solar business name, into your vanity URL. I'll show you what that does to your online marketing links. But that is really important to have that down, because if you're using the online marketing links we provide you, you want to make sure that it has your vanity URL in there. Otherwise, it won't tie directly to your dashboard if somebody fills out a lead. Okay. The other thing, please choose your language preference. If you are more comfortable getting communication from corporate, any of our automated emails in Spanish, please make sure to choose Spanish. Otherwise, everything will come in English. And then moving on, you want to make sure you take the time to set up your e-wallet, fill out the W-9 through e-wallet. Otherwise, we will not be able to pay you until it's set up. So when you start earning commissions and you start making money through our platform, we want to be sure that we can pay you. So definitely set up your e-wallet. And if you ever experience issues with that, please reach out to support@powur.com. This is an area that people always forget. So please take the time to click on areas in your profile and put in the areas that you want to be searchable in. We're always only going to make you searchable by the state that you live in, that you put into your general information here. However, if you are a consultant and you eventually become a mentor someday, and you want to make sure that people can find you because you want to be able to sell in Texas, even though you live in Florida, you need to make sure you put those areas in. Otherwise, you won't show up on that list. If it's a state that requires licensing, like California, then you need to put in your license number and the expiration date. And every time I look at this, I have to remind myself that I need to renew my license. It's coming up. So make sure that you are updating this. Connecticut requires special licensing, and it's a whole mess in Connecticut to get onboarded through our EPC there and everything else. So that is an area that you cannot sell in unless you're licensed. California, you have to have a home improvement sales license. There are instructions and information in course number 6, compliance, in your Powur training. The CSLB license is required to sell in California. They're very strict about it. If you do not have one, but you want to be able to sell here, you have to use a licensed mentor in order to do that. And then the other state that has special licensing is Illinois, and it's very limited coverage in Illinois. Everybody is going to have to use a licensed mentor in Illinois that knows how to do that one-off type of program for our EPC there. It's not using solo. Illinois, we recommend that you reach out to Marcus Baker if you're somebody that wants to sell in Illinois, to go through the alchemy and Palmetto training to be able to create proposals that way. So again, licenses are really important. Those are the 3 main ones: Illinois, California, Connecticut. Everywhere else does not require a direct HIS, home improvement sales license. In Nevada, they do have some special compliance rules when it comes to solar sales. You can email me for more information. I will send you an application to fill out for Nevada. However, they are countersigning all contracts from their sales managers, so it really helps that you don't have to do the W-2 there anymore. So over here on the left, after you've updated your profile and made sure everything is correct, always try to use proper proper capitalization as well whenever you can. Try not to do all caps. That can be very hard for us to search if we're looking for you as a user. Try not to use special keyboards like with accent marks or like a Spanish keyboard. Again, that makes it hard for us to search for you. And again, this is how it's going to show up on a contract a lot of times. So just make sure that you guys do use proper capitalization. Over here in the profile, the next area that I like to show you guys is that online marketing link. Those vanity URLs right here, like if you use this online marketing link and share it to a potential customer, or your neighbor, or maybe you're door knocking, anytime somebody goes through and fills in this information and they go through and put in all of their info, this is a customer going through all of this, when they click on tell me more, it'll automatically populate them into your lead. So keep an eye on your leads if you know you're sharing this link on your Facebook and everything else. And again, by clicking on tell me more, the customer is authorizing Powur or any of our solar providers, which is you, to contact them via phone. Make sure that you guys, if you're using your own lead generation platform or you're purchasing leads, that you are purchasing TCPA compliant leads, that these are people that might be on a do not call registry. You want to make sure that you are actually having some kind of permission or opt-in to call that person. You do not want to get sued. It can be very costly. So once you're done with the online marketing links, or if you're building your own team, you can send them your join link. Again, it all ties back to that vanity URL that you set up in your profile. Over here, I want to jump down to the support items here before I start showing you how to put in a lead. So right here in Powur Resources, you're going to be taken to a site that I managed and put in information. In this site, you can access previous newsletters if you want to get caught up. If you're brand new to Powur and you want to see kind of the things that we like to celebrate and updates and important information. You can also access our SoundCloud, where we upload automatically the CEO talks that happen once a month. Those are really important to try to attend. Again, those links and that information is on powurcalendar.com. And then once you're in here, you should be able to go to past trainings just by hovering over the training and click on consultants. It'll open up to all of our previous trainings where if it's in black, there's usually a video with it. If it's not in black, there's no video, but you can click into it to download whatever assets we have in here for you. So for those that are new to Powur, for those that are new to solar sales and you want to learn solar sales, the first place you should be starting is in our consultant trainings, as well as working with your mentor and really understanding how these loan products work and what the underwriting process is for each of the loan providers. So take some time, come in here, poke around. You can't break anything. There's tons of resources that we have on here for you. We have a really great training that we did earlier in the month on how to do virtual sales, how to conduct an online sales presentation, and we've even included links to some generic sales presentations that you're free to download and use on your own as well. So this is a really great place to start. Please take some time to get caught up on all of the various resources that we have out here for you. After you get into that, if you have any questions for the main support admin, you can create a support ticket right here. Again, those are for like commissions, e-wallet situations, or if you have something happening that's not working right on your platform, send it to support and it'll automatically create a ticket for you, or come here and create a new support ticket. There's two things I like to point out in here. The first is the consultant logo. We do have approved logos that you're welcome to download, but the very important, if you are going to be branding or doing anything to say that you're partnered with Powur at all, the only title that you're allowed to use that's compliant is independent Powur consultant. If you're putting something on a marketing flyer, this is an approved logo that you're allowed to put on there. That's the only way that you should be referring to yourself, is as an independent Powur consultant. Please do not go on your LinkedIn and say that you're the CEO of Powur, or you're the sales manager at Powur or the VP of sales at Powur. Like literally it's only independent Powur consultants, please. We see this a lot and we have to send out nasty like letters to tell people to change it. So do us a favor and just use that. Your business cards, we do not print anything for you guys. You guys are an independent Powur consultant. However, we do provide you a template if you want one that you're welcome to use. This business card template is takes you to a Google slide where you can just click on file and make a copy and put it into your own Google Drive, and then you're able to edit it, okay? So Juan came in here and edited his information. He wasn't supposed to, which is hilarious because it should just say name. You know, I don't feel like editing this. Somehow he was able to edit this, but that's essentially what it looks like. So please feel free to go in here, click file, make a copy of the entire presentation, and then you're welcome to edit that and send it off to your own printers. All right. That's the two main things I wanted to show you. There's tons of information in here that, again, you're welcome to peruse. And then back to Powur training. Hopefully we can help Ben with his question. Powur training, right here we got our Easy LMS login. This is the courses, this takes you to the courses that you need to complete in order to gain access to your dashboard. So when you come in here, we email you. Once you sign up, we email you a welcome to Powur onboarding. And in that email, there is a very long access code, and it's your username that you use to get into this site. They'll send you a link to the site and the access code. Once you're in here, though, if you have not already done this, please make sure that you come in here, click on My Account, and then reset your password to something that you'll remember, because you have access to this at any point. And we do encourage you to come back to this site and review the courses when you're running into something or you get stuck on something, because we're going to tell you in sales support, hey, that's actually covered in course number 3. Make sure to go and review that if we see that you're making a mistake in how you're requesting a proposal, how you are doing something. Make sure that you are referring back to these trainings. I am getting ready to do a big update to it for point of sale documentation. This is where we tell you what kind of items are needed depending on if you're in California, Texas, or Florida, which is all Powur GC. However, if you might be working out of Colorado or one of our EPC partners in the other states that we provide solar in, although not directly through Powur, we're using one of our EPCs there. So point of sale documentation is really important. I've also included little breaks here, so the information will be in English, and then below it will be in Spanish. So if you have people on your team that are Spanish, they'll be kind of listed separately like that. And then as you go through the course, as you can see here, like I said, I'm getting ready to do an update to include Powur Home Energy Florida and all of the various instructions that we've covered about Florida in our previous training. So you'll have all of this information in here for you guys, and you can access it anytime. The other one that's really important to access is our course number 7 to, again, see what the turnaround times are for your proposals and your contracts. When you ask for real time and you're doing it during business hours for the solo, then it's going to usually take about up to 60 minutes to turn that around. So make sure you're planning accordingly. We do not turn around proposals and contracts on Sundays. It's completely closed. So as you can see here, you have proposals and contracts. 1 hour real time, 24 hours is when you choose next day for that proposal. And then our solo coverage is from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, and 7 to 4 on Saturdays. Again, in sales support, we're trying to get to the point where we can have the same coverage for you that the proposal contract turnarounds have coverage for. We're not there yet, but some days we do work Saturdays, and we can offer you that sales support in real time as well. So again, when you're asking for a proposal, if you said real time and you did it at 8 a.m. on Pacific time and it's 8:30, it may not be ready yet. So it takes 60 minutes. We do have some people going like, I asked for the proposal, where is it? And it's like, well, it's being worked on, you know, but thanks for the heads up. If it goes beyond 60 minutes and you ask for real time, then please reach out to us, text into the line and say, hey, I asked for a proposal. It's been over 60 minutes. But also check your notes to make sure that we didn't communicate back to you because we couldn't find the house or we needed more information or the image looks like the trees are going to cover the house and you don't get enough efficiencies, all of that stuff. And then let's move on. All right. So going back over here. So we've covered all of these really important support links and support help sites. Now let's do a real quick walkthrough on the projects. So again, when you are in here under My Projects, this is where your leads and everything are hosted, okay? If you want to add a lead directly into your system, you just click on the plus sign, put in the information. I know we have commercial here in the drop down. Do not choose it. We do not do commercial. I think it's here in the future. We do not do commercial, so don't put in any leads for commercial. Put in the street address, put in the city, state, all that stuff. It'll also try to auto-populate for you. And then when you click on create lead, it'll show up right here in your leads. It will not go into your projects where you can ask for proposal until you've reviewed all of this information, made sure that you're using your customer's email, that you're not using your own email, because we have to put this into the system correctly so that it shows up on the proposals correctly. And then once you click submit lead, it'll go over there. A lot of times, and this will happen more often than not because, yes, I have asked our tech team to update our Google product that we have here for mapping, but a lot of times the mapping, especially in areas like Texas and Florida, it doesn't pin, or in rural areas, it doesn't always pin to the correct house. So if you notice that the pin is not on the house, make sure you're checking that with your customers too. When you're calling to do a warm-up, but you need to move the pin yourself and put it on the house that it's supposed to be. If this neighborhood does not exist on satellite because it's a brand new construction or brand new development, then you're going to have to somehow get the longitude and latitude coordinates so that we can properly design the system for you. We do have a extensive training on how to tell us where the location is, how to give us photos prior to asking for the proposal so that it can avoid having a redesign needed. I'm going to put something in the chat window, you guys. This is a link directly to that training on how to do, how to account for trees, how to tell our designers when you want to ground mount properly, how to take this longitude and latitude literally by just copying it right here and making sure that once you submit this lead and it's in your project, that you are providing that longitude and latitude in your notes here, as well as in your notes over here, so that it communicates to us where that house is. This is a brand new house in this case. And then on top of that, when you go through the training, you're gonna see, we also need to know more though. If there's no picture of the house and we don't know which direction it's facing, what the square footage is, we don't know what size system we can put on here. We have to either get you to provide photos of the roof line or provide some kind of details to our design team, like, you know, south facing roof, here's the longitude, latitude, slope is 24 degrees, roof type is composition. I mean, you cannot give us too much information prior to us asking for a proposal, because the more we have up front, the better chances you're going to get this design correctly and on the right house. And then it'll avoid you having to get a revision. So again, for those situations where the pin does not initially pin to the correct location, or the new development's new, you're going to have to give us more information before we can turn around our proposal. But once all this information is correct in here, you've moved your pin, you've copied and pasted your longitude, latitude, you've uploaded your photos to the notes so that we can see what that roof line looks like. For instance, this house existed, it just didn't exist on the map. So we had the customer go out, take some photos of the roof line so we could see what the pitch was. We had them kind of walk around the house and provide their decoration and insurance, all that stuff that might have been needed for this. And then we went and sold the deal. You know, really we're able to do this all with one version, even though, you know, we didn't have to ask for any revisions on this. But if it did not go to the correct thing, or I needed a change that was an allowed change, I just click on request a proposal revision so that I can tell them what they need to update. We will always revert to a max fit design whenever we can, so long as the roof is not above 30-degree slope. That's the only time we will not use the north of the roof. So again, once your lead has been submitted, and your mentor is going to go over all of this with you, because your mentor is the only one that can request the proposal in the first place. So they're going to go over all of this information with you, what's important to put in. HOA information is very important to put in, and this customer had one that I had put in here, but it didn't save it. Just know if there's an HOA, put in the HOA info, put in their contact number if you can find it. The customer is always going to be asked to sign an HOA waiver if they live in an HOA, so prepare them for that. Always try to choose your financing product. Sometimes if it doesn't capture that you're choosing, if you choose lease, nothing's gonna happen. We're not gonna make you anything. We don't do leases currently, so don't choose lease. Only choose loan or cash. But once everything's been put in properly and you and your mentor have the bill uploaded, and it's a clean, crisp copy of the bill, a legible copy of the bill, that's going to be super important, because without it, we won't be able to proceed to even a site survey. They'll kick it back. So make sure you're getting clean, crisp copies of the utility bill. It's definitely going to be needed, or we won't proceed with spending money on permits and stuff until we have it and can verify. Make sure when you get your proposal, you click on the download button. It will open up a PDF that has an FAQ in here, a frequently asked questions. Please review that, because a lot of times you guys or reps will ask for more panels on a roof, and it's clear that the roof was already maxed out. We do use fire setbacks that are aggressive. We're using California fire setbacks everywhere, because they are more aggressive, and that way our designs can always be, we'd rather come in conservative than come in saying like, hey, we can do like a ton of panels, and in reality after survey we can't, and then you have to do a change order anyways. So just be aware, we do use fire setbacks that are in place for California, even if it's in Florida or Texas or whatever, and we very rarely will break those setbacks on a revision, okay? So just be aware of that. Same thing with max fit design. When you get this proposal link in your lead, you just click on it, click on the link at the top of the page, and it'll bring you to your dynamic proposal. This dynamic proposal, the URL we provide you cannot be given to a customer. Do not ever provide this to a customer, because it'll allow them to update and change pricing. So this is very important that you guys do not just share this link to a customer. There are ways that you can share it to a customer. You can export the final proposal to them as in the PDF. You can share a link to them via email or text them the link. But this dynamic proposal is pretty awesome. It gives you a ton of ways that you're going to then go and price your system. As you can see here, this was the max fit design that came back. Actually, this is a sold project of mine. After site survey, we were able to fit 3 more panels here. We're now fighting with this HOA to put them on the front. So, so we have the ability to provide this customer what he wants, and now it's up to him to decide if we want to leave it on the front. Although our initial design allows me to add or remove panels, which will then in turn adjust the production numbers. So you see here, when I have the design that's desirable, if I need to update the usage, I just click on each of these bar graphs here, and I can update the usage in real time. The other things, I can double check what the assumptions were by clicking on show details. I always do this, and everybody should do this, because if you're finding that you had version 1 of a proposal and version 2, and there's the same proposal they look like on the surface, but you're getting different production numbers, a lot of times it's because a different designer worked on that second proposal, and Solo has it to where they can be within 10%, of each other's designs. So one designer might put in a 24-degree tilt, which will change the production numbers, and the other might put in 25, or one might put in 10% shade and one puts in 3% shade. You know, again, if you're getting back two different proposals sometimes and see that they're the same, they look on the surface the same, click on show details on each of them to see if they are actually in fact the same. You are then allowed to either continue working with that same proposal, or you can ask for a revision and ask them to match the details on the previous proposal. That shouldn't be an issue. So here we have the system size. Here we have the inverter. Very important that you guys do check your adders here and make sure that, again, work with your mentor to make sure that these get priced out properly and that you're putting in the correct amount for everything to keep you compliant also with the loan companies. There is a max price per watt sometimes that you have to follow, and you always want to make sure that your pricing is showing the modules, the inverter, any adders that you have in here, and everything else. If it's not showing one of these things and it's a Powur GC contract, you know, stop what you're doing and let us know, because there could be a bug on that system. It happens very rarely, but we did experience that earlier in the month, and it's been since fixed. Other items that you have the ability to do is update or change the equipment. The equipment that's available is what will show up. Do not ask for anything outside of what's going to show up on your proposal. This has to do with what we have available to procure at this time. Inverters, same thing. Make sure you're sizing your system with the correct size inverter that matches the size of your system. If you need help on learning how to do inverter sizing, again, go to Powur Resources, work with your mentor to get some more training on why a specific size inverter is needed for a certain size system. Very important information. If you're new to solar sales, you're not going to get it, work with a mentor. Rate plans, this is where you can show your customer their current rate with their utility, and then after solar rate, whatever rate plans are available will show up in here, as well as setting your utility escalator. So it's very important that you do not go above 4% whenever possible for your final version of a design. You can show them up to 6%, but 4%, anything above that, and the loan companies will look at that. They'll think that you're being shady, that you're over-promising savings, and they can and will reject your loan. So 4%, when you go to sign your customer, make sure your utility escalator is not above 4%. And that's what's going to affect this number to the customer. And then once you're over here, you'll have the ability to choose from a multitude of rate plans and loan provider, either Loan Powur or Sunlight in most cases. They all have different programs available, different dealer fees associated, and you want to make sure that you're choosing the right one that's best for your customer. Once you do, you click on qualify. If they're ready to move forward, you put in all their info, or you have them put it in if you're doing like a Zoom presentation and you just give them remote access and let them go through, let them click agree and submit, okay? All right, that is the quick and dirty walkthrough on the Solo platform. I am now going to open it up for Q&A. Ben Green, who you don't have to, you can, let me make it to where people can unmute themselves, but I want to start with Ben Green. Ben, you can unmute yourself. Who's your mentor?
It is Melissa.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll work with you and Melissa on what's going on with your LMS after the call, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Just stay on the line because I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll go to your specific issue because it sounds like a possible one-off. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, yeah, I had a question. In regards, hi, sorry, this is Audrey.
Okay, hi Audrey, what's up?
Hi, in regards to selecting the best loan product, is there another training that covers that, or how do we know which is the best one to pick for our customer?
You should be working with a mentor that's going to help you out, because it's going to affect your pricing And it really is going to depend on you and your mentor, your customer, on how you want to present this to them. There's not a separate training because, I mean, we have LoanPal specific training about their underwriting and Sunlight specific training, but how to choose the best rate and option is really going to be, it's part of your discovery conversation with the customer on, do they want to pay more now or have the lowest monthly payment, like pay more overall or have the lowest monthly payment, because that is going to affect their payment next to their what they're currently paying. I think most people that from what I see are choosing a 25-year 299, even though the dealer fee is fairly high, but the APR is so low, and that length of time gives them sometimes the lowest monthly payment, but also the best interest rate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Larry puts a good point on here. Just a reminder, you can only do Spanish-only customers using LoanPal because they have Spanish contracts. If you have a customer that does not speak English or does not have English as their first language and fluent, and you try to use Sunlight, if they cannot pass the welcome call, Sunlight will cancel their loan, or you'll have to find a co-borrower that is fluent in English that's willing to go on their loan. So again, Powur Resources has more trainings, more information on both of those products that you can go and check out anytime. Just do a search in the box on Powur Resources. You can just do a search for LoanPal or do a search for Sunlight, and those trainings will pop up. All right. All right, I'm not seeing any new questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording real quick.